On a distant planet, the sun hung low in the sky, casting long shadows across the rocky landscape. Captain Alex Turner surveyed the area from behind a large rock. He was a tall man with a strong build and a serious expression. His team of Marines was on patrol, ensuring the safety of the newly established human colony. The air was thick with tension, as they had received reports of alien scouts in the area. "Stay sharp, everyone," Alex said, his voice steady. He glanced at his team, which included Sergeant Mike Reynolds, a tough soldier with a no-nonsense attitude, and Private Emily Green, the youngest member. Eager to prove herself, they moved cautiously, scanning the surroundings for any signs of movement. The colony was still new, and many of the Marines felt the weight of responsibility to protect their people. They had come to this planet to build a future, but the threat of alien attacks loomed over them like a dark cloud as they advanced. Alex noticed something unusual. A faint rustling sound came from a nearby thicket. He raised his hand, signaling the team to stop. They crouched low, listening intently. "What do you think it is?" Mike whispered. His eyes narrowed. "Stay quiet and keep your eyes open," Alex replied. He reached for his rifle, ready for anything. Suddenly, a group of alien scouts burst from the thicket. They were tall, with elongated limbs and skin that shimmered in the dim light. Their wide eyes glowed with an eerie intensity. The Marines instinctively raised their weapons, prepared to fight. Then, from behind the Marines, Dr. Lily Harper emerged. She was a medic, known for her calm demeanor and quick thinking. Even in a tense situation, she held a medical kit in her hands. Sight of her startled the aliens, who paused, their eyes shifting between the Marines and the Menek. "Alex, wait," Lily called out. She stepped forward, her hands raised, showing she meant no harm. "Let me talk to them. Are you crazy?" Mike hissed, but Alex held up a hand to silence him. "Let her try," he said. "We might not need to fight." Lily took a deep breath and approached the aliens slowly. She spoke in a soft voice, trying to convey peace. "I am a medic. I can help those who are hurt. We don't want to fight." The aliens exchanged glances, their expressions difficult to read. One of them stepped forward, its features softening as it listened to Lily. It seemed to understand her intent. The others remained tense, but the first alien tilted its head. Curious, Lily knelt down, opening her medical kit and pulling out some bandages. "I can help anyone who is injured. We can work together." The alien leader hesitated, but then reached out a long finger to touch the bandages. For a moment, there was silence. Alex and his team watched, unsure of what would happen next. Then, without warning, a loud noise erupted from the nearby hills. It was a rumble, followed by a bright flash of light. The aliens reacted instantly, their fear evident. They turned and fled back into the thicket, leaving Lily and the Marines in shock. "What just happened?" Mike asked, lowering his weapon. "I think they were more scared of her than of us," Alex said, his brow furrowed in thought. "They didn't want to fight." Lily stood up, her heart racing. "I didn't mean to scare them. I just wanted to help." Alex nodded, still processing the encounter. "You may have just saved our lives." They saw a medic, not a soldier. "We need to be careful. If they think we're weak, they might come back." As they made their way back to the base, Alex couldn't shake the feeling that this was just the beginning. The aliens had retreated, but their fear of human medics could change the dynamics of their conflict. It was a strange thought, but in a way it made sense. Back at the base, the atmosphere was tense. The colonists were anxious, and the Marines were on high alert. The news of the alien scouts spread quickly and everyone was on edge. Lex called a meeting with his team to discuss the encounter. "We need to understand the aliens better," he said, looking at his team. "If they are afraid of medics, we should use that to our advantage. Lily, you have a gift. We need you to help us figure out how to approach them." Lily hesitated. "You want me to talk to them again? What if they don't listen?" "We have to try," Alex said firmly. "We can't just wait for them to attack. We need to show them that we mean no harm." The team agreed, and they began to plan their next steps. They decided to set up a meeting with the alien scouts, hoping to find common ground. Lily lead the conversation while Alex and the Marines would provide backup. Over the next few days, tension hung in the air as they prepared for the meeting. Lily spent time studying the medical techniques she could use to demonstrate her skills to the aliens. She knew that if they saw her as a healer, it might shift their perception of humans. Finally, the day of the meeting arrived. The Marines took their positions, ready for any sign of danger. Alex and Lily approached the designated meeting spot, a clearing surrounded by trees. They waited, hearts pounding, for the aliens to arrive. As the minutes passed, anxiety grew. Would the aliens show up? Would they be willing to talk? Just when doubt began to creep in, the same group of aliens appeared, cautiously stepping into the clearing. Their eyes were wide and they seemed uncertain. Lily took a deep breath and stepped forward, ready to bridge the gap between their worlds. She knew that this encounter could change everything. "Hello again," she said, her voice steady. "I want to help. We can work together." The aliens paused, their leader stepping forward. This time, there was no fear in their eyes. Instead, there was curiosity. For Lily, that was a promising sign as they began to communicate. The Marines stood ready, knowing that this moment could alter the course of their future on this alien world. On the alien command ship, the atmosphere was tense. Commander Zorak stood at the large window, staring out into the vastness of space. His dark skin glimmered under the lights, and his eyes narrowed as he thought about the recent encounter with the humans. The aliens had always viewed humans as weak, but that day had changed everything. "Commander, we need to discuss our strategy," General Vektar said, stepping into the room. He was shorter than Zorak, but had a strong presence. His scales shimmered in the light, and his eyes held a sense of caution. Zorak turned to face him. "I know what you are going to say. The humans are dangerous. They have something we do not expect." Vektar nodded slowly. "The medic, Lily Harper, is the source of our fear. She did not fight, but offered help. That is not how we see strength." Zorak crossed his arms. "Exactly. That is why we must capture her. If we can take her away from the humans, we can learn their secrets. We must understand how she can heal so easily." "But Commander, what if they come to rescue her?" Vektar asked, concern evident in his voice. "Their soldiers are strong. They will not sit idly by while we take their medic." Zorak waved his hand dismissively. "Let them come. We will set a trap. If they want their medic back, they will have to face us. In the end, they will see that we are not afraid." Meanwhile, back at the human colony, Alex Turner and his team were preparing for the meeting with the aliens. They had gathered all the information they could about the alien species. Alex noticed the concern in Lily's eyes. "Are you ready for this?" he asked her, trying to be supportive. Lily took a deep breath. "I think so, but I am worried. What if they don't listen? What if they think I am a threat?" "They will listen," Alex said confidently. "You showed them that you want to help. That will make a difference." As they discussed their plan, the team felt a mix of excitement and fear. They knew that the meeting could change everything, but the threat from the aliens was still looming. They could not ignore the possibility of an attack. Later that evening, Alex gathered the Marines for a final briefing. "Listen up, everyone. We need to protect Lily at all costs. She's our best chance at making peace. If things go wrong, we will cover her and get her out safely." The Marines nodded, understanding the weight of the situation. They had trained for combat, but this was different. They were stepping into unknown territory, and the stakes were high. The next day, they set out to the meeting spot, a clearing surrounded by tall trees. The air was thick with anticipation. Lily walked ahead, her heart pounding in her chest. She felt the eyes of her fellow Marines on her, and it gave her strength. When they arrived, they found the aliens waiting for them. The alien leader stood, tall, its wide eyes focused on Lily. She stepped forward, feeling the tension in the air. "Thank you for coming," she said, her voice steady. "I want to talk about how we can work together." The aliens exchanged glances, clearly unsure of how to respond. Zorak stepped forward, his expression unreadable. Why should we trust you, human?
You could be hiding weapons behind your words. Illy?
Held her hands out, showing she meant no harm. I am not here to fight. I am here to help. We can learn from each other. Your people are strong, but we have knowledge that can save lives. Zorak paused, his eyes narrowing as he considered. Her words. You think your healing can change the war? I believe it can, Lily responded. If we can share knowledge, we can find a way to avoid more violence. We all want to protect our people. The alien seemed to ponder her words. Vector spoke up, his voice cautious. Toka. Lily took a deep breath. Let me show you how I treat injuries. I can demonstrate my skills. If you see the value in healing, maybe you will understand that peace is better than war. Zorak looked at Vector, and they exchanged a brief glance.
Very well, we will allow you to demonstrate, Zorak said. But know this, if you
fail, we will not hesitate to take you captive. With that, they led Lily to a small area where they had set up a makeshift medical station. The Marines stood back, ready to react if needed. Lily opened her medical kit, showing the aliens the tools she used. She explained each item, pointing out how they could help save lives, as she worked. She noticed the curiosity in the aliens' eyes. They watched her with a mix of interest and skepticism. She treated a simulated injury on a small robotic device, demonstrating her skills with care and precision. This is how we can help, Lily said, wrapping a bandage around the device.
Peace.
Injuries can heal faster with the right care. Imagine if we could save lives on both sides. Zorak's expression softened slightly. You believe that this knowledge can change the outcome of our conflict? I do, she said. We can find a way to coexist. You're not your enemies. After her demonstration, the aliens seemed more relaxed. They were still cautious, but the fear that had been present earlier was fading.
Vector?
Looked at Zorak. Perhaps we underestimated them. There is power in knowledge, even in healing. Zorak nodded, but remained skeptical. We will need more than words. We need proof of this cooperation. Just then, a loud alarm echoed through the clearing. The Marines immediately tensed, their eyes scanning the area for threats. Alex stepped forward, ready to protect Lily. What is happening? He demanded. The aliens looked alarmed as well. Zorak quickly turned to Vector. We must return. To the ship, there is a disturbance. As the aliens began to move, Alex felt a surge of panic. What about the meeting? You can't leave now. Zorak paused, looking at Alex with a mix of disdain and curiosity. We will continue this later, human. If your medic is as skilled as you say, we will need her. With that, the aliens retreated. Into the trees, disappearing from sight. Alex turned to Lily, concern etched on his face. Are you okay? I'm fine, she said, her voice steady despite the chaos. But we need to be ready. They are still dangerous. As they made their way back to the colony, Alex couldn't shake the feeling that the meeting had changed something. The aliens were still a threat, but there was a chance for understanding. All they needed was to keep moving forward, no matter. The obstacles ahead, in the days that followed, the Marines remained on high alert. They prepared for further encounters with the aliens, while working with Lily to create a plan for their next meeting. It was a delicate balance, but they all knew the risk was worth it, as tensions mounted. Alex felt a growing sense of determination. They could not allow fear to control their actions. They had to fight for peace, even against the odds. The future of both their worlds depended on it, and so the story continued, with hope and fear intertwined. As they prepared for the next chapter in their struggle for survival and understanding, Lily Harper woke up with a heavy heart. The meeting with the aliens had not gone as planned. Yes, she had shown them her medical skills, but the sudden alarm had cut the conversation short. Now, she wondered if they would even consider working together. The fear of the unknown weighed on her. At the base, the Marines were busy preparing for any potential conflict. Their training had always focused on combat, but now they had to think differently. Alex Turner gathered his team for a morning briefing. Listen. Up, he said, his voice firm. We still don't know what the aliens are planning. They may try to take Lily or launch an attack. We need to stay alert. Right. Lily stood to the side, feeling the weight of the attention on her. She wanted to help, but she also felt like a target. I can reach out to them again, she said, hoping to ease the tension. If they see my willingness to cooperate, they might trust us more. Alex nodded, appreciating her courage. We'll support you. We need to be ready for anything. If they show aggression, we will defend ourselves. As they spoke, a loud noise echoed from outside the base. The ground shook slightly, and everyone froze. Alex motioned for the Marines to take positions. Check it out, he ordered. Lily's heart raced as she followed Alex outside. They found a group of alien scouts approaching the base, weapons drawn. The aliens moved in a tight formation, their eyes focused and alert. Zorak, the alien commander, stood at the front, his expression serious. Step back, human, Zorak called out. We are here for the medic. Alex stepped forward, his weapon ready. You can't take her. We need her here to help us. Lily moved beside Alex, raising her hands. Wait, I can help you. I can heal your wounded. We don't need to fight. Eyes narrowed as he considered her words. We are not here to negotiate. We want you to come with us, medic. You will help us understand your healing. Lily felt a chill run down her spine. You want to take me away? What about my team? It will not let me go without a fight. Zorak's expression hardened. We do not fear your soldiers. Stronger. If you do not come willingly, we will take you by force. Alex's heart raced. He looked at Lily, knowing they had little time to act. We must defend her, he whispered to the Marines. Wait. Lily interrupted, sensing the tension. If I go with you, will you promise to let my team be safe? I only want to help. Zorak paused, contemplating her offer. If you come, we will not harm your team. But know this, medic, if you try to escape, there will be consequences. Lily looked at Alex, who gave her a reluctant nod. She took a deep breath and stepped toward Zorak. I will come with you, but I want to see how your people live. If I am to help, I need to understand. Zorak gestured for Lily to follow him. As she walked away from the base, she felt a mix of fear and determination. She hoped that, by going with the aliens, she could find a way to build trust. The Marines watched, ready to act if needed. Alex felt a knot in his stomach as he watched Lily leave. We need to keep an eye on them, he said to Mike. If anything goes wrong, we'll have to intervene. Meanwhile, Lily followed Zorak and the other aliens to their command ship. The interior was unlike anything she had ever seen. Bright lights illuminated the sleek metallic walls, and the air was filled with a low hum. She felt both awed and anxious. Once inside, Zorak led her to a large chamber filled with advanced technology. Aliens worked at control panels, analyzing data and monitoring the situation outside. It was clear that they were a highly organized force. Welcome to our command center, Zorak said, his voice echoing in the spacious room. You will help us learn your healing methods. We need to understand how you treat injuries and diseases. Lily nodded, trying to stay calm. Can teach you, but I need your cooperation. Healing is not just about techniques. It's about compassion and understanding. Zorak raised an eyebrow. Compassion? We do not understand that concept. Lily took a deep breath. Compassion is caring for others. It means wanting to help, even if it means putting yourself at risk. It is important in healing. If you want to learn, you must also learn to care. Zorak's expression remained unreadable. We will see if your words hold truth. Show us your methods. We have captured a human soldier who is injured. We will treat him. Lily felt a rush of adrenaline. This was her chance to prove herself. I will help him, she replied, her voice firm. Zorak led her to a medical bay where a wounded Marine lay on a table. His face was pale and he was unconscious. Lily immediately recognized him as Corporal Jake Lawson, a member of Alex's team. Jake, she whispered, rushing to his side. She assessed his injuries, noticing a deep wound on his leg. He needs immediate care. Zorak and the other aliens watched closely, their expressions curious. Lily focused on her work, her hands steady as she cleaned the wound. She spoke softly to Jake, trying to reassure him, even though he could not hear her. Stay with me, Jake. You're going to be okay, she said, her voice calm. She applied a bandage and used some of her medical supplies to stabilize him as she worked. She sensed the aliens' eyes on her. They were interested in her techniques, but she also felt their skepticism. They were not used to seeing someone care for another being. After what felt like hours, Lily stepped back, feeling a sense of relief. "He needs rest and more care, but he will survive," she announced. Zorak nodded, but his expression remained stern. "You have done well, medic. But understand this. Your skills will not save you if you betray us. We are watching you closely." Lily nodded, knowing that her life was now in their hands. "I understand. I want to help, but it must be a two-way street. We can learn from each other." The aliens exchanged glances, and for the first time, Lily sensed a shift in their attitudes. They were beginning to see her not just as a human, but as someone with valuable knowledge. As the hours passed, Lily continued to teach the aliens about basic medical practices. They asked questions, some more curious than others. She could see that Zorak was still skeptical, but Vekthar appeared more open to her ideas. "You speak of compassion," Vekthar said during one of their discussions. "But how can we trust it? Our people have always been strong. We do not show weakness." "Compassion is not weakness," Lily replied. "It is strength. It allows us to connect with one another. That connection can save lives, both yours and mine." Zorak listened, but remained unconvinced. "We will see if your words hold truth. If you succeed, perhaps we can find a way to coexist. If you fail, there will be consequences." Lily swallowed hard, understanding the weight of his words. She knew she had to keep proving herself. The future of her people and the aliens depended on it. Back at the base, Alex and the Marines were restless. Days had passed since Lily was taken, and they were anxious for news. They gathered in the command room, discussing their next move. "We can't just wait," Mike said, pacing. "We need to get her back. What if they are using her as a hostage?" "I know," Alex replied, rubbing his temples. "But we also need to think strategically. If we rush in without a plan, we could put Lily in danger. Then what do we do?" Emily asked, her voice tinged with worry. "We can't leave her there." Alex took a deep breath. "We prepare for a rescue mission. We gather intel and find out what they are planning. We have to be ready for anything." As they began to formulate their plan, Alex felt a mix of hope and fear. He knew they had to act quickly, but they also had to be smart. The stakes were higher than ever, and the fate of both their worlds hung in the balance. Lily was now deep in the alien world, trying to find a way to bridge the gap between their species. The challenges ahead were great, but she was determined to find a way to create a path toward peace. The story continued, with both sides preparing for what lay ahead, each hoping that understanding and cooperation could prevail over fear and conflict. The future was uncertain, but there was still a chance for change. Lily stood in the alien medical bay, her heart racing. She had treated Corporal Jake Lawson, but the threat from Commander Zorak still loomed large. Days spent with the aliens brought new challenges, and she wondered how long it would take before they truly trusted her. After her successful treatment of Jake, Zorak had allowed her some freedom within the command ship. However, she was still aware that she was a prisoner in a strange land. Every decision she made felt like it could tip the balance between cooperation and conflict. One day, as Lily was reviewing a medical manual, Zorak entered the room. His presence filled the space, and she felt the air grow heavy. "You have been here long enough to learn about our ways," he said, his tone serious. "We want to test your skills further. What do you mean?" Lily asked, trying to remain calm. "We have captured more humans. They're injured, and we want to see how you handle them," Zorak replied. Lily's stomach dropped. "More humans? Why?" Zorak's eyes narrowed. "To understand your healing. If you wish to prove your worth, you will treat them." Lily knew this was a chance to show her skills, but it also meant dealing with more injured soldiers. "I will do my best," she said, steeling herself. Zorak led her to another part of the ship, where several human soldiers were being held. Lily's heart sank as she recognized some of them. They were from her own team. Alex, Mike, and Emily were there, looking weary and worried. "Lily," Alex exclaimed, relief flooding his voice. But it was quickly replaced by concern as he took In the situation, what are you doing here? I'm fine, she assured him quickly. I'm here to help. Just trust me. Zorak stepped forward, his expression firm. You will treat them. If you succeed, we may allow you to continue your work with us. If you fail, there will be consequences. Lily nodded, feeling the weight of their expectations. I'll do everything I can. She approached the first soldier, who was lying on a cot, groaning in pain. His injuries were serious, and she could see he needed immediate attention. As she worked, she could feel the eyes of the aliens on her. They were watching closely, waiting to see if she would succeed or fail. She focused on the task at hand, pushing her fears aside. Lily, are you sure about this? Mike asked quietly as she bandaged the soldier's arm. What if they don't let you go? I have to try, she replied, her voice steady. If I can show them that healing is important, maybe they will see us differently. As she treated the soldiers, she noticed the aliens growing more curious. They had never seen humans care for each other in this way. Zorak stood close, observing her methods. Why do you care for them? He asked, his brow furrowing. They are your enemies. They are not my enemies, Lily responded, keeping her tone calm. They are my friends. We fight to protect each other. That is what makes us strong. Zorak seemed to ponder her words. Strength is shown in combat, not in healing. Lily shook her head. Strength is also about saving lives. If you can, save someone, you are showing true power. You can choose to heal instead of harm. As she finished with the first soldier, he looked up at her, gratitude in his eyes. Thank you, Lily, he murmured, before drifting off to sleep. Lily moved to the next soldier, working quickly and efficiently. Her heart raced as she treated each one, all the while aware of Zorak's watchful gaze. She could feel the tension in the room, but she pushed through, determined to prove herself. After several hours, she finished treating the last soldier. Exhausted but proud, she wiped her brow and turned to Zorak. I've done what I can. They need rest and more care, but they will survive. Zorak studied her closely, his expression unreadable. You have done well, medic, but this is just the beginning. Our people must learn from you. I understand, Lily said, her heart pounding, but it must be a two-way street. I want to learn from your people as well. If we are to work together, we need to understand each other. Zorak nodded slowly. You may have a point. Perhaps we can arrange a meeting between our two sides. We will see if your words hold truth. Back at the human base, Alex and the Marines were growing anxious. They had been waiting for news about Lily and their captured friends. Tension filled the air as they gathered in the command room. We need to act soon, Alex said, looking at his team. If Lily is in danger, we can't wait any longer. Agreed, Mike replied. But how do we get her back? They have the advantage. We need to gather intelligence, Emily suggested. If we can find out when they are vulnerable, we can plan an attack. Right, Alex said, nodding. We'll send a small team to scout the area around their command ship. Need to know their defenses. They discussed their plan. Alex felt a mix of determination and fear. He had to rescue Lily and their team. They couldn't leave her in the hands of the aliens. Meanwhile, Lily was still with the aliens, trying to build trust. She spent time with Zorak and Vekthar, teaching them about basic medical principles. They were cautious but curious, asking questions about human anatomy and healing. One day, they worked together. Vektor asked, what happens if we do not share this knowledge with our people? What if they refuse to listen? Then we must find a way to show them, Lily replied. If they see the benefits of saving lives, they may change their minds. Zorak frowned. But our culture has always been about strength. We have never seen healing as powerful. Lily looked at him, her voice firm. It can be powerful. Small feeling can save more lives than weapons ever could. If you want to protect your people, you must also care for them. Zorak considered her words, and for the first time he seemed to soften a bit. You may be right, medic. We'll have to explore this idea further. As the days passed, Lily continued her work, slowly gaining their trust. She knew that time was running out. She had to find a way to connect with Alex and the team, but she also had to keep the aliens from seeing her as a threat. One evening, Zorak called her to his quarters. "We have decided to hold a meeting between our two sides," he said. "You will represent the humans." Lily's heart raced. "When will this happen?" "In 3 days," Zorak replied. "You will speak for your people. We will see if cooperation is possible." Lily nodded, feeling a mix of hope and anxiety. This was her chance to bridge the gap between their worlds. If she could convince the aliens to work together, it might change everything. As she left Zorak's quarters, she felt a surge of determination. She would prepare for this meeting and do everything she could to create a path for peace. Back at the human base, Alex and the Marines were readying for their mission. They had gathered intelligence and were preparing for a rescue. They knew they had to act quickly. As they planned their strategy, Alex thought of Lily. He hoped she was safe and that she was still fighting for their freedom. The stakes were high, and they were all ready to do whatever it took to bring her home. With the meeting on the horizon and the rescue mission in motion, both sides prepared for the next chapter in their struggle. The future was uncertain, but hope flickered like a faint light in the darkness. The story continued, with both humans and aliens on the brink of a pivotal moment, each side hoping for understanding and cooperation in a time of conflict. Lily Harper stood in the command center of the alien ship, her heart pounding. The time for the meeting between the humans and the aliens was finally here. She had prepared as best as she could, but the weight of the moment hung heavy in the air. This was her chance to bridge the gap between their worlds and create a path toward peace. The large room was filled with alien leaders. She felt their eyes on her, studying her every move. Commander Zorak stood at the front, his expression serious. Next to him was General Vekthar, who looked both curious and cautious. They were here to listen, but she knew they could turn hostile if they felt threatened. Lily took a deep breath and stepped forward, trying to project confidence. "Thank you all for coming. I am here to talk about how we can work together to save lives and build a better future." Zorak nodded but did not speak. He seemed to be waiting for her to continue. "I know that we come from different worlds and have different ways of thinking, but I believe we can find common ground. Healing is powerful, and it is something we can all understand." Vekthar leaned forward, his eyes narrowing. "You say healing is powerful, but we have always relied on strength and combat. Why should we change our ways?" "Because strength can also be found in saving lives," Lily replied, her voice steady. "If we work together, we can protect our people without more fighting. We can learn from each other." A murmur ran through the alien leaders. Some seemed intrigued, while others remained skeptical. Zorak raised a hand to silence the room. "You speak of cooperation? What do you propose?" Lily felt a surge of hope. "I propose that we share knowledge. I can teach your medics about human medicine, and you can teach me about your ways of healing. If we can understand each other, we can build trust." Vekthar exchanged glances with Zorak. "And if your people do not agree to this? What then?" Lily hesitated, knowing that her team was still out there, likely preparing for a rescue mission. "I believe they would want peace as well. But if we do not try, we will never know. It is better to take a chance than to fight an endless war." Zorak seemed to consider her words. "You have shown courage, medic, but we must see proof of this cooperation. You cannot simply take your words at face value." Lily nodded, understanding his hesitation. "I can demonstrate my skills again. I can show you how healing can work wonders. If you have injured soldiers, let me treat them." Zorak looked at Vekthar, who nodded slowly. "Very well. We'll allow you to demonstrate your healing skills. But know this, if you fail, there will be no second chance." Lily felt both relieved and anxious. "Thank you. I will do my best." Zorak led her to a medical bay where several injured aliens were being treated. Lily recognized the same care she had provided to the humans. As she entered, she saw the aliens watching her closely, their expressions a mix of curiosity and skepticism. "Treat them as you did the humans," Zorak instructed. "We will see if your methods are effective." Lily approached the first alien, a soldier with a deep gash on his arm. She took a deep breath and began to work, explaining each step as she went along. First, I will clean the wound to prevent infection. Then I will apply a bandage to help it heal. The aliens watched closely, their eyes focused on her every move. As she worked, she could feel the tension in the room. Would they accept her methods? Would they see the value in healing? After a few minutes, she finished with the first soldier and moved to the next. Each time she treated an alien, she felt more confident. She spoke to them, showing them the importance of care and compassion. When she finished, the aliens looked at her with a mix of surprise and respect. Zorak stepped forward, his expression softer than before. You have done well, medic. Perhaps there is more to your healing than we understood. Lily felt a rush of hope. If we can continue to share knowledge, we can build a better future, can save lives together. As the meeting continued, Zorak and Vector began to ask more questions. They wanted to learn about human medicine and how it could be applied to their own practices. Lily felt a sense of accomplishment as she shared her knowledge, knowing that she was making progress. Meanwhile, back at the human base, Alex and the Marines were preparing for their rescue mission. They had gathered intelligence about the alien command ship and were ready to act. We need to move quickly, Alex said to his team. Lily is in there, and we can't leave her behind. We have to get her and the others out. Mike nodded, his face serious. I'm ready. We can't let fear stop us. We need to rescue them. Emily checked her gear, determination in her eyes. We'll do whatever it takes. Lily would do the same for us. As they launched their mission, Alex felt a mix of anxiety and determination. He was worried about Lily but hopeful that she was making progress. They moved quietly through the alien territory, staying hidden from sight. Back in the command ship, Lily continued her discussions with Zorak and Vector. The atmosphere had shifted, and she could see that they were beginning to understand her perspective. They were starting to see the value in healing rather than fighting. Your people are strong, Zorak said thoughtfully. But we have always believed that strength comes from power, not care. You are changing our views. Lily smiled, feeling a sense of hope. Strength can be found in compassion. If we can protect each other, we can build a future without war. The meeting came to a close. Zorak turned to her. We will consider your proposal for cooperation. If your people agree, we can begin a new path. Lily felt a rush of excitement and relief. Thank you, Zorak. I believe this is the start of something important. Just then, alarms blared through the ship. Zorak's expression changed, turning serious again. We are under attack. Prepare for defense. Lily's heart raced. She knew her team was fighting to rescue her. You need to protect your people, she urged. If we can work together, we can defend against any threat. Zorak hesitated, then nodded. Very well. You will stay with us and help our medics treat the wounded. Perhaps together, we can withstand this attack. As they prepared for the incoming conflict, Lily felt a sense of purpose. She would fight not with weapons, but with her knowledge and skills. She would help both her people and the aliens. Meanwhile, outside the command ship, Alex and his team were engaged in a fierce battle. They fought hard, determined to reach Lily and the captured soldiers. They moved with precision, using their training to navigate the chaos. Keep pushing forward, Alex shouted, leading the charge. We're almost there. Back inside, Lily worked alongside the alien medics, treating the wounded as they were brought in. The chaos of battle raged around them, but she remained focused. She knew that every life saved was a step toward understanding. As the battle continued, Zorak and Vector fought alongside their soldiers. They were beginning to understand the value of cooperation, and Lily felt a surge of hope as she saw their determination to protect their people. Finally, after what felt like hours, the battle began to calm. The humans had pushed back the attackers, and Alex found his way into the command center. He rushed in, breathless and relieved to see Lily. Lily called out, his eyes searching for her. Are you okay? Lily turned, her face lighting up with relief. Alex, I'm fine. I'm helping them. What are you doing? He asked, confused. I'm showing them how to heal, she explained quickly. We can work together. It's important. Zorak approached, his expression serious but respectful. You are brave, human. Your medic has shown us strength in healing. We will talk about peace after the battle. Alex nodded, still processing everything. If we can save lives, we should. Let's work together. As they treated the wounded, both humans and aliens began to work side by side. There was a sense of unity in the chaos, and Lily felt a sense of hope for the future. Perhaps this was the beginning of a new era, one where healing took precedence over violence as the last of the wounded were treated. Zorak turned to Alex and Lily. We have much to discuss. If we can work together, we can prevent future conflicts. Lily smiled, feeling a wave of relief wash over her. Yes, together we can change everything. The battle had been fierce, but it had opened a door to understanding. Both sides had seen the value in cooperation. And as they began to forge a new path, hope blossomed in the air. Underneath the alien sky, the future felt brighter. The story of two worlds began to change, moving toward a future of peace and compassion. The journey was far from over, but for the first time, there was real hope for both humans and aliens. The fight for survival had turned into a fight for understanding. Together, they could create a world worth living in.